Hello guys and welcome back to Custom Gamer. My name is Daz and this is the show where we talk about level design while playing cool maps. So over the next few weeks we're going to be taking a look at all the maps in the Honey Map Jam competition, which was just released the other day. It's 12 single player maps for Quake, and the competition was run over a 2-week period and authors had to make a single player map using the Honey theme. Again, Honey is a map by CZG. There's a video of it on the channel. I'll stick an annotation up so you can go and have a look at it so you know what the style is all about. But essentially mappers had to imitate or kind of borrow from that style and create a completely original map within 2 weeks. And we got 12 maps as a result. I was extremely impressed with the quality. I played through it on a live stream. The VOD is on YouTube if you want to catch it. So this is the first map we're going to look at today. It's called Probable Carcinogen. It's by Ionous MFX. And it's the most beautiful map in the pack in my opinion. Got to do a special mention before we get going. You're probably noticing that the intro camera here is really nice and smooth and has nice banking turns when it flies around the map. This is a lovely utility that Mandel, a ex-speedrunner and programmer for Quake, has created and putting it to good use here. It's a lovely app. I don't know if he's done a public release yet, but check it out when he does. It's a great little app for stuff like this. Alright, let's go and have a look at the map. Okay, so the original map here was created by Ionous, and then MFX came in and helped him with a couple of things, and I think ended up doing around 40-50% of the entire map, so it really is a kind of dual author map, I guess, in the end. Maybe a bit off with some of those percentages, but that's what was going around on Funk Message Board, the level design forum, where this competition was held. And I said in the intro that it's one of the most beautiful maps in the pack, and it really is. The attention to detail, of course, being an MFX map, is superb. The lighting is fantastic. And there's just some great level design features which turn a fairly small map into an interesting and longer experience than perhaps you'd expect from something this small. It also borrows, I want to say they were inspired by APSP2 by Than. The map's called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but they do carry shotguns. And it's an id-based map with kind of a semi-underwater and obviously overwater section with lots of kind of floating crates and things like that and water puzzles. And I want to say that was a little bit of an inspiration for this map because it has some of the same features, kind of underwater sections and lots of floating crates and things like that. It feels very similar. This map has some nice kind of gameplay in it. This thing here, you've got to explore around underwater to find various routes around. And generally, you've kind of pushed upwards in the map to begin with, and then as you start finding keys for doors, you find that you're descending the map to open a key door and then re-ascending once you have a new key. Again, this makes a small map feel a lot larger because you're constantly having to go up and down, and each time you do there's new events happening which keeps things feeling fresh, which is very important when you're using the same space multiple times like this. You notice the grenade launch up above me here. This is a really cool secret. It's one of those secrets hidden in plain sight, and it just requires the player to memorize the location so that later on, when you are up above, you can locate that chain and drop down to it. So it's kind of a memory secret as well. I like that a lot. Of course, there's the classic secret under a lift in this map as well, which is a classic in the Quake genre. Now here's the only part of the map which does have a few issues. So you're attacked from multiple angles here, which is great, and this area would be fine, but there's something very strange going on trying to get up onto this ledge. Now you notice here I'm having a lot of trouble. Typically in Quake, when you've got a ledge just out of water like this, Quake will automatically boost the player up onto that ledge. You don't need to jump or anything, it'll just kind of auto jump. But for some reason here, it doesn't really work. It must be, maybe there's some sort of clip brush, or the lip on the side of the wall here is just too high or something, but it's really fiddly and it can get you into a lot of trouble, as you're seeing there. It's really the only part of the map that stands out as being a little bit wonky. Everything else is really nicely polished. Another thing that's really cool about this map is the ammo situation always feels tight, and even things like, typically in most Quake maps, shells are just kind of a given. You know that you're always going to have a shotgun to rely on, because there's always shells absolutely everywhere in most maps. You never really drop to a fairly low amount, but in this map I felt like I had to use every single clip of ammo was important. I hate to use the word clip in Quake, but it's just meh. I mean, you end up running low on shells, nails and grenades by the end, so there's always this pressure that you want to be accurate and not waste ammo, which is pretty hard to do from a gameplay balance perspective, because some players are better aimed than others. You want to have kind of a slight overlap in ammo quantity so that people that are really bad at aiming don't just run out of ammo and die horribly, but players that are really good still feel that pressure of, okay, ammo is tight and I need to be careful. It's a very tough balance to get. It just requires a lot of play testing. We grab the silver key here, and this is where we have to remember that we can drop down onto the chain. And it's nice that you can see the chain from the top there to kind of remind you. It's like, ah, yeah, there's a grenade launcher on this, I remember. I like that a lot. And go back into the main room here. Now, the key doors are located in such a way that you have to go up to grab the silver key, back down to open the silver key door, and then once you're through the silver key door you can grab a gold key, which requires you to go back up. And again, this is where the level gets a lot of its length from. And again, backtracking, easy to do it wrong, tough to do it right. I think they do it right in this map, in that there's different encounters for each part of the map when you go through one way, and then a different set when you go back through. So it feels different. And you're always kind of approaching things differently. There's different angles on the way back, you know. Enemies are on different ledges, so it ends up feeling very nice. I mean, I haven't talked about it very much, but the visuals in this map really are incredible. Lots and lots of really high ceilings, which I love. Really gives you that feeling that the place is much bigger than it actually is. The lighting is incredible as well. Lots and lots of kind of hot spots everywhere, especially these long lights on the walls. And you've just got kind of these fill lights which fill in the ambient lighting. It's very nice. And just things like all the chains and things like that. It's typically detail you don't really see in Quake maps, but it looks fantastic. And again, this is the kind of detail that you see a lot in MFX maps as well. Check out a couple of videos I've done for his maps on my channel as well. They're all really nice to look at. So it's no surprise that the level looks fantastic here. You've got the machinery here as well, which of course is a throwback to the Honey theme. As in Honey you had these kind of big grand halls with lots and lots of fog, but you also had this kind of lots and lots of mechanical things and machinery that you had to turn on to unblock the way for you. This Vor here is really nasty. You can kind of see a lot of the map, so it's always kind of throwing Vor balls at you no matter where you are. And because you don't have a rocket launcher, it can be very tricky to take him out. It uses a lot of ammo. I like the way that health is kind of concentrated in a couple of areas. You have to do a little bit of exploration to find. There's plenty of it in the map, but you do have to go looking for it, which again, you know, enforces a lot of exploration and getting the player to search around for all these nooks and crannies to stay alive. I do like that. I've got the gold key door up here. But first, we have to get this secret here. Got a funk illusionary that you can just run through there. Now, I think the ending of the map is somewhat of a letdown, so I guess this is like one of the final fights here, but nothing really feels climactic. I'd say this is probably the other niggle I have with the map, is that there's no real end battle. You just kind of kill a couple of enemies and exit the level. It's a bit of an anticlimax. You can literally just walk into this hallway to exit the map. I would have really liked perhaps an arena or some other kind of climactic ending, but it's just missing, unfortunately. So yeah, that and the water ledge are really the only two bad things I think about this map. Otherwise it's fantastic, I loved it. So that was map 1 of 12. It's going to take me a while to get through all these, but I really want to do it because they're all really interesting maps to look at in their own rights. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. There'll be plenty more coming as soon as I can make them, basically. Now, check out Map Jam 2 has been announced over at Funk Message Board. So if you really want to create a Quake map, competitions like this are a great way to get started. So go and check out the thread, I'll link it below in the video description. It's 2 weeks to make a map in the IK White stroke IK Blue theme. So enjoy that, and I'll see you next time.